Welcome back
to Glasses
with glasses.
Glasses.
Alright.
So I guess today we have another special contribution here. This is a rum, a little different than last week's episode. And well, for those of you who haven't tried it yet, we'll put the label up and we'll put a link on this. This is a Botran Reserva. It says Ron Anejo, which for those of you who are uninitiated means aged rum. So yeah, there's a couple of interesting things about it.
It is from Guatemala. I had no idea. This has been sitting in my cabinet for a while. And it's a blend of rums between 5 to 14 years old. So I guess they blend them in and it's kind of like a blended whiskey. This thing does have a source of different casks that they store it in. So they apparently use American whiskey casks, sherry casks, and port casks. And they advertise it as vanilla and dry fruits, basically.
Yeah, it's like a note of vanilla and basically seasoned, I mean not seasoned, flavored of the flavors of the dry fruits that are used to make it. So there's a couple of things that's interesting about this. Being in that whole class of Guatemalan rums, for anybody who's done the Guatemalan class of rums, there's a couple of fancy ones from Guatemala. I think the most well-known one is Zacapa, which is a celebrated rum from Central America throughout, and it's very popular worldwide. This is not in that high of a class, but this is still a good rum. So
Agree.
we've had some taste of it already, so we're gonna give it a fresh taste and go through our notes on this.
So one of the things I wanted to say before we do that, the actual price of the rum is about $20 for a 750 ml. So that's actually not bad, especially for something that's a dark rum. That's very doable.
I mean, keep in mind this is a blend, and you have to take the lowest years. So if it's 5 year to 14 year, it's really just a 5 year rum. So you're paying $20 for a 5 year rum, which, I mean, is a few dollars more than you would want to pay. You could probably get a 7 year rum for a little bit less than that, single estate.
So I guess this is a solid party rum.
This is better than a party rum, but it's closer to a party rum. Yeah, it's better than Bacardi, I think.
I agree.
Well, I don't like white rum, but hey,
Neither do I.
we'll try it one day. Nobody's too good for anything on this channel.
Exactly. Cheers.
Now it's got a certain smoothness to it on the sip. Like that must be from all these different types of sources of barrels they're using.
I guess so.
Right? Rather than just being like putting your mouth tongue first into a can of paint thinner.
Yeah.
It's got like a kind of a smooth, kind of oily, buttery kind of feel to it on the way in. It's
I agree. That initial taste is quite smooth, and it's also fairly sweet for what it is.
Yeah. Given the fact that it's a aged rum in barrels, and especially with whiskey barrels and sherry barrels and port barrels, it's sweeter than you'd expect.
Yeah. With that said, I think the secondary taste is rather harsh, and the tertiary hit is. It's not like good whiskey smooth. Let's put it that way. At least in my book.
This is like, Johnny Walker Red is kind of rough at first, but the more you have of it, the better it gets.
Yeah, I think this is better than Johnny Red.
Yeah, it starts off better than Red. What I'm saying is the effect is, like, we've tried it a little bit before starting recording, and now I'm having this, and the first try was like, it's getting better. This is something that can get better. There are certain things you drink and they don't get better, like Jose Cuervo, but this is not too bad. It can it can pass after the first couple.
And I do agree with the vanilla and dry fruits. It does have a fruity bouquet.
It does.
It's fairly vanilla as well, and I agree. It's almost greasy. Like the actual rum itself. If you look at, I mean, you guys can't see it on camera, but it leaves a pretty darn good mark on the glass. And
Yeah.
that's usually a good sign.
Viscosity, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. It has a kind of a oiliness to it.
Yeah.
So, it's gonna slide down not too quickly, and it doesn't vaporize right away. So
No, it's not gonna gas you either.
yeah, so it's pretty good. There's not a lot to it in terms of smell, but tasting is believing. I do get a little bit of the vanilla, the dry fruits, probably. But is this the first item on my list if I have to restock? That's the question. No.
No, not for
No.
me either.
No.
Like I would pass this by in the liquor store. And like,
But it's not bad. It's not bad. What would you give this in terms of a value, considering it's $20 and it has a pretty decent flavor profile. It has a pretty decent viscosity. It has a certain kind of maturity to it.
I'm kind of drawn out between a 6 and a 7. I don't think I would give it more than a 7, but I'm more in the 6 range.
I kind of am gonna have to agree with that because the reality is, when I'm a rum lover, so when I go to buy rum, and if you're a rum lover, you want rum that is gonna have a standalone, authentic rum taste. You're gonna want to have a Florida cognac, right? Something in that level, or a El Dorado, or a Ronzagapa, right? You're gonna want to have those quality kind of rums, and even though it's only $20,
are not. They're not this price, but they're not too far from it either.
they're not too far from it. They could be just a few bucks more. Like, you might spend $37 instead of 20, and you will like it. Whereas this, you'll drink it at once, you'll put it on the shelf, you'll probably forget about it for a while.
Either that or go on a bender, drink the whole thing, and then forget about
Or-
this thing.
Or like decide you want to make a YouTube video one day and find something and then you
Yeah.
do it. So
Well, that's what this is. Right? 2 years in my shelf.
correct. So it got to the 50% mark, and then 2
Never.
years, and now it's a little bit down more now because we're tasting it out. We're trying it out for you guys, so this way, we could save you the drama.
Okay.
Now, I wouldn't say that it's like if you got it, if somebody handed it to you as a gift, it's not a bad thing.
No, it is a very palatable gift. Don't get me wrong.
But save your money, spend your money on something you're gonna like more, and if you never had one before, I guess you'll like this one. It's not a bad one. Is it
Converse
bad?
to this is I can get double the volume of Captain Morgan for this price. Just
Yeah.
about this price.
I
About
put them in the same
$23.
But question is does it taste bad? It doesn't taste bad at all.
No, it doesn't. It's
And
just,
by no stretch can we call this bad. It's just
it's not. It's
It's
forgettable.
just not great. It's not good. And
It's
you
almost
should-
good.
And you should put your money into good things, So yeah, I couldn't recommend you go out and buy this. So we'll probably try a couple more tests. We'll you know how it is. Our appeals for each test will change. Our ratings for each test will change, and then we'll give you a final
All right.
conglomerate score at the end.
So next up, we're gonna mix it with Coke.
Okay. So we're on to the ice test. We said we'd do Coke, but we're kind of jumping ahead of ourselves, so now we're gonna do ice.
Yep.
And we'll try that out, and then we'll add some Coke, and we'll let you know how the ice changes it.
All right.
So of course, ice will chill it, and it will add water content. And of course, the glass is changing too, so we'll see how that works with surface area.
Give it a little bit of mix.
Surface area temperature. So all.
Well, the
Chemical
bouquet is really hasn't changed.
Yeah. I actually don't like it cold. I liked it better at room temperature.
You know what? I agree with you.
And I feel like the ice thins it out a little bit, and I liked it better when it wasn't as thin. I liked the viscosity of it.
Yeah.
So those are good qualities of this rum right out of the bottle. It's good at room temperature. It has a nice viscosity, and you kind of lose that when you add ice.
Not only that, but you get some bitter flavors out of it when you add.
Right. It's like it's as if the water going into it gets rid of the sweetness,
Yeah.
but the bitterness just hangs around.
Yeah.
It does turn a lot better. Then this starts to taste more like a rye, almost, or like something out of a whiskey,
No, not even.
out of the whiskey family. I don't know.
It actually tastes. It almost tastes like a
it doesn't
Jack.
taste like
A rye, no.
some sort of
like
whiskey
Jack.
because it doesn't taste like a rum to me anymore.
Like a Jack Daniels.
Even Jack seems sweeter than this. I've had Jack a couple times, so.
Yeah, but directly with ice.
I don't know. I've only ever had Jack and Coke
Yeah.
that I can
Maybe,
that I can remember.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't remember my encounters with Jack that many times either. But maybe the next video we got to do Jack.
I have some Jack.
All right. So let's add some Coke to this mess. I'm not happy with the ice.
So, wait, before we add the Coke, what do we say in terms of, so,
What's
if you're
the value
buying
now?
this,
It's a 5.
the value is like a 1. If you're buying this, don't buy it for chilling. Don't do that just from temperature. If you have to say, I want something I can drink cold, and you buy this, you've wasted your money. The value drops off. And in terms of flavor, it's just not good anymore. It's like,
It's more like a 4. You're right. Not a 1, but
in
I
terms
would
of
say a
flavor,
4.
it's not, like, it's like you're just drinking an alcohol. It's like this.
Turpentine.
Yeah, it's like a cheap alcohol is terrible tasting. You never find anything good about this.
Hand sanitizer.
Yeah, yeah. It's like eating. You know when you put hand sanitizer on, you eat something and some of it gets off in the food, it gets in your tongue. Yeah, that's what it tastes exactly like.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
Perfect. Coke time.
Hey, Coca-Cola, hit us up for that collab. We're here.
Hell, we'll even do RC Cola.
But we'd rather you guys hit us up with the collab. All right.
This video is sponsored by
Bat soup. All right.
Wuhan Special.
That's it.
All right.
Carbonated bat soup. Get your carbonated bat soup. All right. Not talking about Coke though. Coke is great stuff.
All right, it smells better.
It does. I mean, right away it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it got back some of that sweet smell that it lost.
Yeah, it does. And it actually smells like vanilla Coke.
You may have a mole in your factory Coke.
Seriously.
See, that's why you gotta take care of us because we out here doing that research for you. It's tolerable.
It's tolerable, but I'd rather have a spice rum in here. Maybe because I've been drinking much more of it. I don't know. I'd rather have a Captain and Coke than Botran and Coke.
I'd rather have any other rum and Coke than this one that I've had in my life. Yeah, I'll agree with you on that. I'll agree with you if it's Kraken and Coke is better than this. This is not. So this thing really just should be. It's made to stand on its own. Unfortunately, and this is the sad part about it, it's not memorable. So as much as it should be drank all for what all of its own merits, it's it's the kid that doesn't play well with others in the class, but at the same time isn't the smartest. So
Or the sportiest.
yeah,
So
it's a tough category to be in. So that's our usual 3 tests, right? We do our shots, we do our ice, we do our Coke. So this here, I'm gonna say this just solidifies my, my 1 out of 10 value because it's not that versatile, and my 4 out of 10 taste because it's just bad under all circumstances.
I'll cut it a little bit more of a break, I would think. Overall, this is a 3 out of 10 on both value and taste. It's not the worst thing I've ever had in the world.
Okay, so that brings it down to an average of 2 between us.
Yeah, it's a 2 out of 10.
And then what does that mean for that's for taste or for value?
Both.
Both.
3 out of 10 for me. Both. Taste
Both.
and value. So it's not the worst. The only redeeming feature is if you want to sip it, that's fine. Although most people that buy rum that want to sip the stuff probably would buy something that's better.
So our overall percentage of this, if we're going to combine those numbers, you do the math, it's 27.5% recommendation.
I'm not a rum connoisseur at all, right? I've only had a few types of rum in my life, and yeah, this stuff is exactly what I what I perceived it as is something that kind of sticks in the back of my liquor cabinet and it comes out when everything else runs out.
Now here's the disappointing thing. Exactly. Exactly. This is the thing you drink last. And here's the disappointing thing. Guatemalan rum is world class. It's known, Guatemalans are known for their rum. This is like, you know, I guess a guy in Guatemala might make rum better in his house than this. So, I mean, you know, whatever. But all I'm saying is it almost has like really no taste left.
I agree. I agree. It goes from pleasant bouquet to
From where it started off,
rubbing alcohol.
yeah, to nothing. It's the flavors of it just dilute
Basically,
right away. the
I
second it
feel
gets
you can
cold.
actually do better even for the price. So
Yeah.
I mean, I've had worse for more, but I've had better for much less.
But this, yeah, so this is not up to what I expect of a Central American rum. Not to say that there's not a lot of bad Central American rum. There's a lot of cheap, bad Central American rum. But for $20, this is not cheap enough to be considered cheap.
Agreed.
This should be $11, $12, $13, like $12 to $13. Right? This should not be 20.
This is a rot gut special, basically.
Exactly. So, Botran Reserva from Casa Botran. Don't, and it is a 40% ABV value, 80 proof. So, you know, don't go out there. Don't rush out to buy this. When you see it in the store,
Problem is, it doesn't even get any
you can
better
dodge
as you drink it.
yeah. When it was by itself, it kind of did, but not like this.
No.
So that's it. You heard it first. If you heard it first, then you're hearing it from here. And
Well, subscribe and share, first of all.
yeah.
And second of all,
Smash that subscribe button like a drunk does with his fist into the bar,
yeah.
and then share this, like you would depressing stories at the bar that nobody really wanted to hear. But that's another story.
All right.
Like, share, subscribe. Thanks. See you next time. And this is it for Glasses with Glasses. See ya.
I'm not gonna-
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wrong.
You still have to drive home.
Yeah, well, one shot ain't gonna kill me. This is gonna get raced off too.